Exercise, whether it's a morning run, walk, cycle, or a prolonged gym session, this pursuit is primarily done in the name of health. It's no secret that exercise is difficult, especially to those who haven't established a discipline to maintain a consistent schedule. I was scrolling through my feed recently and I saw a few great memes on the subject, but there was one that really compelled me to discuss this topic. I won't name names, but the comment regarding exercise was, quote, "Life is too short to exercise," end quote. This remark was from a certain podcast, and I received a good laugh when it was placed in those reject weakness, pursue Grindset meme compilations. In all seriousness though, as someone who exercises regularly, I figured it's high time to explore the philosophy, or rationale, of exercise. Why do people exercise, and why should they subject themselves to often immense physical exertion in the name of a particular goal? Answering these questions is what I intend to explore, as well as the benefits of exercise and the health risks of inactivity. Let's commence with benefits. Exercise or physical exertion has been proven to help control weight, improve mood, boost energy, promote better sleep, mitigate depression, reduce stress, and improve brain function, among others. First-hand experience has proven that these benefits are true. The gym not only has increased my physical stature, broadness, but it has also shown to be a robust stress reliever and antidepressant. During the occasions where my mental health declined, a common pattern was that I wasn't working out as much, or at all. Injuries in school were the reasons for this pattern, but it demonstrated how reliant I had become on exercise as a viable outlet for stress management. If you still aren't convinced that exercise is a worthwhile endeavor, think not in terms of benefits, but observe the consequences of inactivity. The Mayo Clinic remarks that, quote, "Regular exercise helps prevent or manage many health problems and concerns, including stroke, metabolic syndrome, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, depression, anxiety, many types of cancer, arthritis, and falls," end quote. A Canadian report into the economic cost of inactivity reached similar conclusions about the risks of inactivity. The authors found that, quote, "The risk of 7 chronic diseases was increased by 21%, breast cancer, to 74%, type 2 diabetes, within physically inactive adults by comparison to active adults. The values indicate that between 23% hypertension and 38% type 2 diabetes of the chronic diseases were attributable to physical inactivity within Canadian men, and that between 15.3% breast cancer and 39% type 2 diabetes of the chronic diseases were attributable to physical inactivity within Canadian women," end quote. Put differently, sedentary individuals are at a far greater risk of developing and dying from these preventable chronic diseases. The comment, "Life is too short to exercise," already was absurd, but research has essentially blown it into smithereens. Everyone realizes that life is short, and we only have so much time before we expire. Additionally, if you ask people whether they want to maximize their time or not, it's rather evident that most would like to increase their lifespan to the greatest extent possible. Granting this assumption, where people wish to maximize their lifespan, it leads to the natural conclusion of exercise being a relatively easy, inexpensive, necessary, and desirable means to accomplish that objective compared to medical procedures. A possible challenge to this rationale, the data, and conclusions reached is that exercise may prevent numerous diseases, but there's no guarantee it will effectually do so. There are examples where ostensibly healthy individuals, i.e., who exercise on a regular basis, still end up getting diagnosed with cancer and the like. Indeed, this is true, and once again there are no guarantees, but this is also valid of various phenomena. There's no guarantee that hard work will bear fruit. On the flip side, there's no guarantee that inactivity will lead to negative outcomes. Perhaps you'll be able to go through life being completely sedentary and not experience any of the chronic diseases aforementioned. However, you'd have to be extremely lucky for that to happen. If you seek to maximize your years on Earth, taking this route is a gamble that in all probability you won't win. The odds simply aren't in your favor because it's essentially like playing Russian roulette and hoping that you'll survive. Given enough time and enough rounds, eventually it'll get you. There are no guarantees, but it sure appears that choices have consequences. The consequences of inactivity far outweigh any benefits it ostensibly brings, like comfort and a lack of pain. I myself doubt these are even benefits of inactivity, as they vanish over time, especially as one advances into old age. If anything, the comfort disappears and the pain is exacerbated once certain conditions arise, like hypertension, cancer, heart disease, or arthritis. Quality of life diminishes, or even life itself prematurely in these cases, and I'd rather avoid those possibilities. In conclusion, exercise is yet another representation of challenge. To achieve whatever goal you have in mind, whether it's improved health, self-confidence, stature, or to gain the respect of others, you'll have to exert a certain level of effort. Easier said than done, of course, as it doesn't take much effort to relax and remain sedentary. However, the aforementioned goals won't manifest themselves out of thin air. Furthermore, specific pains and hardships are necessary to endure in the pursuit of success. I myself would much rather endure the hardship of pumping iron at the gym in order to stay healthy, rather than suffer a diminished quality of life due to inactivity. The rationale behind exercise is one of benefits and avoidance of unfavorable outcomes, like avoiding increased suffering. As we have seen and realized in our own lives, avoiding detrimental events is a powerful motivator. Comparable to how we should forsake smoking to avoid lung cancer, so should we also renounce inactivity to avoid a plethora of probable health issues down the line. Everyone ages, but the manner in which they age is heavily dependent upon their choices, like how they eat, sleep, and how much they move. Some of this variance is due to chance, but the majority of this variability rests upon their decisions. Seemingly inconsequential choices over a prolonged period of time are how habits are made, both positive and negative. Nobody is saying go become a bodybuilder if you don't want to, but embarking on a walk or run every now and then isn't too much to ask. Who knows? It's possible that the additional activity will prevent something detrimental you were initially on course to acquire, but have now avoided.